world where humans are creating a new digital reality, I find myself easily sucked in, but craving a reality of the past. I guess this is normal, since I am the last generation to see the world before computers took over and everyone had one in their pocket. Don't get me wrong, I think it is fantastic to have such easy access to knowledge and to each other. But I do believe we need to become better at filtering what we pay attention to. I find myself easily distracted, and my brain is a mess of information. Maybe because as a creator, you're hardwired to seek inspiration and knowledge. The only thing that brings me out of it is coming back to nature and paying attention to my 5 senses. That is why I started playing with clay and slowly changing my habits. Whilst engulfed in the digital world, my senses are numbed, and my brain acts as if it is in the depths of depression. It is easy to be there, but I have to remind myself that I feel better out in the real world, touching and seeing real things. I have been spending more time in the digital world recently, searching for an answer to what I am doing with my life, who I am, and how to deal with loss. The answer, I concluded, is not on my phone or on my computer, but will emerge through the act of doing. What I have been doing for the past few years is exploring my connection to the natural world through my 5 senses, and most predominantly through touch. Touching clay, creating texture, forming experiences every day that focus on the 5 senses and my connection to the natural world. I ask myself, what do I want to do for others? Through this medium and the work that I produce, I want to remind people of the importance of using our 5 senses and strengthening our connection with the real world. I have been searching for a movement that is in line with this, and I believe the Biophilic movement could be it. I was searching for another arts and crafts movement, another Art Nouveau, another Mingi movement. These movements questioned our development towards lives filled with mass-produced objects and focused on bringing nature into our living spaces through natural form and material. I believe the Biophilic movement is not just about bringing nature into our living spaces, but it is also about bringing nature into our everyday habits and experiences. Many biophilic designs use a scientific approach to create calming, pleasant environments that focus on positively affecting the inhabitants through the use of all 5 senses. Sound design, airflow, texture, movement, and user experience are all considerations when designing a space. I see the biophilic movement as an all-encompassing movement back towards reality. I hope that it allows people to question their own reality and what is good for them and for other people of this earth. Living in Japan has brought me closer to nature than ever before. Many aspects of traditional Japanese architecture could be considered as biophilic design. With predominantly natural materials in use, these spaces breathe and are healthy environments. The subdued colours and structure frame perfectly the constantly changing seasonal displays of nature and art. I see many spaces termed biophilic that are simply masses of green against a white room. This is perfectly fine, but for me I think it could be so much more. Colours in nature are so much more interesting, and I think would create a much more relaxing atmosphere than a hard-edged, stark white room. Colour softens the edges and can envelop you in warmth and safety. Another aspect to biophilic spaces, which I believe Japan is very good at, is the use of contrasting textures and varied line. Flaws in wood are highlighted. Rough, textured walls diffuse the light. Stone defines the use of space and bridges the gap between inside and outside. I would like to show you a few places in Tokyo that I like to visit, and I think they all approach biophilic design in different ways. Here at Nui, large organically shaped blocks of wood are used throughout the design, along with many reclaimed materials. I like the way they have honoured the architects in this plaque. At Park Stand Tokyo, a simple branch motif has been the inspiration for the space. The inside becomes a nest-like space, comfortable and protected from the bustling city. Kabit places its emphasis on the ingredients and highlights calming nature videos on screens suspended from the ceiling. The videos are actually taken on site at their many ingredient suppliers throughout Japan. This chai cafe also concentrates on highlighting the natural ingredients of its products. They have stained MDF boards for all the walls, which is an economical way of creating a calming space where you are surrounded by wood. The same owners also created this intimate Nepalese restaurant next door. Flour and Water use organic lines and subdued colours to display their products. Once you are attuned to it, elements of biophilic design can be found everywhere in Tokyo. Coming back to nature, celebrating it and protecting it is by no means a new concept. Now more than ever, though, it is easy to become separated from ourselves and ourselves as part of our natural environment. The biophilic movement is one of a few groups of people acknowledging that we need to be more conscious about what we surround ourselves with and what we consume physically and mentally. It is simpler than eating organic, buying handmade products, or putting a plant in your house. Not everyone has the privilege to do such things. It's touching grass, as some might say, and being present. Even better, it's working together to create a healthy environment for yourself and people around you. What is a healthy environment? Well, in my opinion, it is one deeply intertwined with our natural environment. As I grow and experience this world, my connection to it strengthens. I have allowed my naturally inquisitive nature to bring me closer to why I am here. Not everyone has to have a purpose, but I have always known that I've wanted to help people in some way. I think I'm closer to knowing how to do that. I am closer to myself through the act of doing and experiencing and interacting with my environment. I am excited as I intuitively write this, knowing that I have something to work towards and focus my energies on, for myself and for others. And I invite collaborators who share my thoughts. I want to be able to use this digital reality to connect with others in a conscientious way. I want to be a part of a community again. I grew up seeing my mother at the heart of a community. She worked as a librarian for most of her career, and I saw how she connected with people in meaningful ways. She encouraged me to be a part of it, and I volunteered to teach children art activities for the local environmental project for 9 years during summer holidays. Here I met Anne Lawley, the leader of the project and a never-ending source of inspiration for me. She created communities everywhere she went, through art, poetry, and the creation of community spaces, all of which highlighted nature and our connection to it. My father would take me into nature every weekend, and we would sketch together. He loved seeing me create art and encouraged me to keep improving. These people have led me here today, and I'm so grateful to have had those experiences with them. I want to honour them in my life with how I live for myself and for others. So what does 2025 and generally the future have in store for me? I don't know. I can only control a part of it. I have decided, though, to keep making a conscious effort to use all of my senses and enrich my life with real experiences. By sharing here my experiences, inspirations and aspirations, I hope to affect others positively. I will keep learning and being inspired by nature and bringing it into my life in as many ways as I can.